There's a lot to digest and a lot of voices to be heard. Stick to the frequency that amplifies these voices, stories and reports that make the difference. This is Agidigbo News, 88.7 FM.
This is Kunle Amzat Studio, Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening, welcome to News Around the World on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan. I am Wuraola Yusuf. The headlines: Saudi Ministry of Hajj Umrah extends data capturing for Nigeria's intending pilgrims. Oyo government AFCFTA meet deliberates on collaborative initiatives. Afghan asylum seeker found guilty of abducting and raping 12-year-old girl. United States military says troops to Nigeria will avoid combat, focus on training. In ISDG, Shaibu seeks increased funding to strengthen sports development. Now the details. The Senate has demanded for the full and timely implementation of Nigeria's defense budget, warning that delays could weaken the country's fight against insecurity. According to Newsman Today, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Defense, Senator Ahmed Lawan, raised a call during a budget defense session where the Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, presented the ministry's 2025 performance review and 2026 budget proposal. Senator Lawan emphasized that postponing defense spending could give an advantage to criminal elements and insurgents, while insisting that the armed forces and other security agencies have their budgets implemented to secure the lives of Nigerian citizens and they need the tools and weapons to fight. In his presentation, General Musa acknowledged the persistent security challenges across the country, but reassured lawmakers that the ministry remains committed to improving outcomes, stressing that progress so far was made possible by the support and cooperation of the National Assembly. The Saudi Ministry of Hajj and Umrah has extended pilgrims' data capturing and grouping of pilgrims for the 2026 Hajj. According to the Deputy Director of Information and Public Relations of NACON, Fatima Sanda Osara, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Tuga, on the instruction of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, had reached out to Saudi authorities to grant special extension to Nigeria to allow for pilgrims' data capturing to be completed. It is expected that after expiration of its extension, the Saudi authorities will not accept any further requests for extension, emphasizing speedy completion of the process, while Hajj managers are therefore advised to work round the clock in ensuring that the process is completed within the shortest possible time. Meanwhile, former NACON chairman Professor Abdullahi Saleh Usman has expressed gratitude to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima for the opportunity to serve as NACON chairman. However, President Bola Tinubu has nominated Ambassador Ismail Abba Yusuf as the new chairman of NACON in a letter sent today to the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, requesting the expeditious confirmation of Ambassador Yusuf to replace Professor Abdullahi Usman, who resigned after about 14 months in the post. According to history, every 14th of February marks a season dedicated to celebrating love in all its forms, from romantic to platonic, self-love, and even those who simply follow the trend. Lovers and partakers of Valentine's Day in Nigeria are never left out of the excitement, often sported in matching red and white outfits at fancy and beautiful locations. Despite economic challenges, the celebration remains vibrant, with Nigerians embracing the spirit of Valentine's Day each year. This week on our big story, Agidigbo FM correspondents Jehovah Tobi Olaiju and Oluwajumoke Oladunjoye explore the history, traditions, and thriving business around Valentine's Day. Here is the report.
Valentine's Day has a rich and complex history that spans over 1,500 years with its roots in ancient Roman traditions. Let's start with the history. Saint Valentine was a Christian priest who lived in Rome in the 3rd century AD and defied Emperor Claudius II, who had outlawed marriage for young men by believing that single men made better soldiers. Despite the decree, Saint Valentine continued to perform secret marriages, earning a reputation as a romantic and compassionate figure. The Catholic Church recognizes February 14th as Saint Valentine's Day, originally observed as a feast day to honor Saint Valentine's sacrifice. Over time, the holiday evolved, incorporating elements of ancient Roman festivals such as Lupercalia, a fertility and purification festival celebrated in mid-February. However, it is the time of the year when local markets and supermarkets in Nigeria and around the world come up with Valentine's Day, attractions to captivate love-related purchases. Despite rising inflation, Nigerians remain committed to celebrate Valentine's Day, with spending levels increasing compared to previous years. In the world today, Valentine's Day is celebrated across nations. The day is marked by the exchange of gifts, flowers, and cards, symbolizing affection and appreciation between friends, families, and mostly lovers. Looking at the acceptability, many Nigerians, irrespective of culture and religion, celebrate and share love in different ways on Valentine's Day. From the northern region to the southern region, Valentine's Day has evolved into major commercial events, with businesses capitalizing on the celebration through gift sales, entertainment, and dining experiences. Duty or love? Some Nigerians share what Valentine's Day means to them and how they have been celebrating the day.
When you know say na your real power, we will say your mind dey pure to you. Na real love, na it will call a vow. No be say make you also give to fake ones. I mean, I just believe about this vow. But you know, so life don't change. So as the world they change, as everything they change.
It's a day you must celebrate because it shows the kind of love you have with your friends, your loved ones, and your loved ones in general.
With the understanding that the expressions of love remain at the heart of the occasion, the financial significance of Valentine's Day has become increasingly pronounced. Consumer spending continues to grow year on year, making Valentine's Day as one of the most significant retail spending periods when compared to other festive periods in the year. For some Nigerians, love overcomes economic hardship. Increase in spending is not solely due to enthusiasm. Inflation has driven up costs, necessitating larger budgets for gifts, dining, and experiences. Despite the economic challenges, Nigerian lovers remain determined to celebrate love and appreciation for their partners, proving that Valentine's Day is not just about money, but about thoughtfulness and effort in relationships. While comparing the sales of previous years, gift shop owners create discounts and promotion to attract more buyers.
Love is sweet, love is sweet.
Valentine's Day in Nigeria has transcended its sentimental roots to become a significant economic event, with retailers, restaurants, and entertainment venues vying for consumer attention. The 2026 Valentine's Day celebration in Nigeria is poised to set new records, with increasing participation and higher consumer spending than ever before. The next edition of The Big Story, we explore how Nigerians celebrated the 2026 Valentine's Day and how the economic situation of the country affects small and large-scale businesses. Jehovah Tobi, Olaiju, Agidigbo FM News.
The Oyo State government has met with the leadership of the African Continental Free Trade Area in Ghana to discuss collaborative initiatives as the state begins the full implementation of the AFCFTA strategy. The special advisor on media to Oyo State Governor, Dr. Sulaiman Olanriwaju, has said this following a the trainers workshop held in Ibadan last week with the special advisor on international trade and AFCFTA, Monsignor Theodore Thlaselo, stating that the deliberation in Ghana, which was the first in 2026, was held to set a tone for the collaborative initiatives intended between Oyo State Government and the AFCFTA Secretariat as the full rollout of implementation begins. According to Mr. Sello, the discussion centered on the 2026 action plan of the Oyo State Government on AFCFTA following the allocation of funds to the AFCFTA in the 2026 budget to drive the initiative and support the Oyo State AFCFTA strategy rollout. After the meeting, the AFCFTA Secretary General, Mr. Wamkele Mene, praised Governor Makinde for exhibiting purposeful and visionary leadership, noting that Oyo State stands out as one of the few governments with isolated budget for the AFCFTA rollout outside the budget of its Ministry of Trade. A public affairs analyst, Comrade Femi Babalola, has expressed skepticism about Nigeria's ability to successfully implement a real-time electronic transmission of election results, citing significant technological limitations. Speaking today on Agidigbo FM's Shokonwa radio program, Babalola urged stakeholders to reconsider the push for instant electronic results, emphasizing that the country's technology is not yet advanced enough to support such a system.
The transmission of results has to do with technology. The other one is the hard copy, which is very manual. We are not thinking of how we are going to match the two together to give us the desired results. And how do we mean it? In the advanced countries, in every of the senior clan that we have, they make use of the technology. But Nigeria, here we can now be proudly say this is the technology or the device that we have invented on our own. We borrowed technology down to this nation. And we are having power failure. We are having network issue. And that is the more reason we said that we can jointly make use of the two together, both the manual and the electronic transmission, so that we wouldn't have headache. That hard copy would be as a backup to the electronic transmission in case the network fails.
However, Comrade Babalola cautioned that making real-time electronic transmission mandatory could lead to chaos and mistrust in the election results, advising the government to address network issues to ensure a smooth process, suggesting that manual transmission should be used as a backup plan. Now it is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Pelu Adenike studio at Agidigbo FM. United Kingdom. I am Olushola Damilola. An Afghan asylum seeker has been found guilty of abducting and raping a 12-year-old girl in Warwickshire. Ahmad Mulaki, 23, targeted the victim after spotting her in a park in Nuneaton last July. This led to a protest in the town with demonstrators holding flags as they marched along the high streets. Mulaki told the police that he believed the girl was 19 and he did not force her or threaten her family. However, he was convicted of child abduction and taking an indecent video of the girl during the sexual encounter. Mulaki arrived in the United Kingdom 4 months before the rape and had made an immigration application linked to problems he had experienced in Afghanistan. Meanwhile, he has been remanded in custody and will be sentenced on a date to be fixed. A 13-year-old boy has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder as counter-terrorism officers led an investigation into a double stabbing at a school. 2 boys aged 12 and 13 are in a serious condition in hospital after yesterday's attack at Kingsbury High School in Brent, northwest London. Police launched a search for the suspect and officers later detained a 13-year-old boy. Police Chief Superintendent Luke Williams said detectives are keeping an open mind as to any motivation behind the attack. And that ends the news from Pelu Adenike studio at Agidigbo FM. United Kingdom, I am Olushola Damilola.
You're welcome back. We shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Pelu Adenike studio, Agidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya. 10 people, including the shooter, are dead after an assailant opened fire at a high school in Western Canada on Tuesday in one of the country's deadliest mass casualty events in recent history. The attack brought to Canada the type of mass shooting more common in the neighboring United States and was carried out by a shooter described as female. 6 people were found dead inside a high school in the town of Tumbler Ridge in British Columbia. 2 more people were found dead at a residence believed to be connected to the incident, and another person died on the way to hospital, according to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. At least 2 other people were hospitalized with serious or life-threatening wounds, and as many as 25 people were being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Nigeria's military said on Wednesday that about 200 U.S. troops due to arrive in the coming weeks would not take part in combat action and that Nigerian forces will retain full control over all security decisions. This followed comments from a U.S. official on Tuesday that the Pentagon planned to deploy the troops to train Nigerian forces fighting Islamist militants weeks after President Donald Trump ordered against what he described as the Islamic State target. Last week, the U.S. military confirmed it had sent a small team to Nigeria without giving details, marking Washington's first acknowledgement of personnel on the ground since the Christmas Day strikes. Major General Samaila Uba, spokesperson for Nigeria's defense headquarters, told reporters that Abuja requested the U.S. presence to provide technical training and advisory works at several locations, adding that the deployment formed part of ongoing cooperation under the U.S.-Nigeria Joint Working Group. And that ends the news from Amzat Studio, Agidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonia.
Now in the exciting world of sport. The Director General of the National Institute for Sport, NIS, Comrade Philip Shuaibu, has renewed calls for increased funding to reposition the institute and advance sports development in Nigeria. Comrade Shuaibu made the appeal today during a budget defense session at the National Assembly in Abuja. The NIS boss reaffirmed the institute's commitment to fulfilling its mandate of training manpower for the sports ecosystem and promoting grassroots sports development, stressing that inadequate funding remains a major constraint. The immediate past Deputy Governor of Edo State commended President Bola Tinubu and the House Committee on Sports for their continued support but urged a speedy constitution of the Board of the National Sports Commission, noting that it will play a critical role in revitalizing the sector. Describing the NIS as a lifeline of sports development in the country, Comrade Shuaibu therefore called for premium attention to the institute to enable Nigeria attain greater heights in local and international competitions. To wrap up the news this evening, here is a recap of the headlines. Saudi Ministry of Hajj Umrah extends data capturing for Nigeria's intended pilgrims. Oyo government AFCFTA meet, deliberate on collaborative initiatives. Afghan asylum seeker found guilty of abducting and raping 12-year-old girl. United States military says troops to Nigeria will avoid combat, focus on training. NISDG Shaibu seeks increased funding to strengthen sports development. And before we go this evening, here is a quick tip. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan. I am Wuraola Yusuf. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State government has said the over 1.5 million out of school children.
We give you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
The Southwest in Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.
Trust us to keep you informed every hour, every day.
Agidigbo